And welcome back to Select Start. I'm Dio.
And I'm Jay.
And we picked up Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And we're about to continue playing some. I've been playing a little bit at home. And I've been loving this game. I really, really have. First of all, Wii U, we didn't get it.
Hell no.
It wasn't in our wheelhouse, which is a shame because there were a ton of great games, including this one. You want to do a versus race, or you want to just check out a Grand Prix so we can check out some of the levels?
Let's do Grand Prix.
Multiplayer Grand Prix, right?
Yep.
Let's do that. 2 players. But I really enjoyed this game for what it was. We're just going to do a 50. As you can see, I already did the 50, 100. Just started the 150 cc's. But since we're going to be talking, we're just going to have some fun. Perfect. So, as I was saying, the Deluxe Edition, definitely worth it. I mean, look, you got all the characters unlocked, including the DLC characters, and including some missing characters that weren't in before, like King Boo. The only things that aren't unlocked are the vehicle parts and the vehicles, but the more you play, obviously, the more you unlock. And each one has their own different stats and abilities that change depending on what wheel you have. I found my good set right now, so I'm good with this set, the Duke. If you want to turn on the auto steering or turn it on or off, you press the left shoulder button. Something new, auto accelerate with the right shoulder button, which is interesting. And never used it because I love playing with the thumbstick. If you press Y on your controller, you could turn on the tilt mechanics for the tilting driving.
Never was a fan. I tried it with a Wii.
Look, it was fun on the Wii. It just wasn't the same. In a game like this, where you have to pull off crazy drifts and stuff, you absolutely need that full control. Now, obviously, as the racing circuits get harder, the 150cc, the 200cc, I think I might turn on the auto steering just to keep myself on the track based on the high crazy speeds we're going to be doing. But I really enjoyed the level of challenge that this game presents without it on, especially the 150cc, 200cc. Which one you want to do?
Let's do Flower Cup.
Flower Cup it is. But this takes me back, man. All the Mario Kart games are really great. I didn't play Double Dash, although I heard that one was great. It's just that it was in a period of my life where I didn't necessarily have friends over all the time, and there wasn't always that multiplayer element. I feel that with the Switch, at least, especially because of Zelda, the way we've been playing it, discussing it, and now that we've got a second game for it, or a second first-party big-name game, I should say, it really brings back that communal feel to the game.
I love Mario Kart because it just makes me remember how we were kids and you used to play in my basement.
Well, that's it. A lot of companies are starting to really realize that, wait a minute, we can't just rely on online multiplayer. I mean, look what happened with Halo 5, right?
Yeah, seriously.
Everyone well, not everyone, but most people I know, especially myself, basically said, fuck that game because they didn't include local multiplayer, which was always a big selling point for that game. You would get together with your friends. In the US, obviously, they have a different college system than we do here in Canada, but hypothetically now, you would get your group together in your college dorm room in the US, or like we did, we would gather around in your basement and we would all play versus each other, make a night out of it.
Ink Blob, I hate you. No, man. That's the thing with Nintendo. It's about good times.
That's it. It's the fun factor, and I think that's what makes a lot of Nintendo games super special. Is the fact that there's that intangible Nintendo magic. You know what I mean? Best way that I could describe it is okay, take Horizon Zero Dawn, another great open world game, fantastic open world game, right? And it's super polished. It takes the mechanics that you've seen used before, like the tower system, and they put a level of polish on it that is really, really impressive. And you make the comparison of that game to Breath of the Wild, they're both fucking fantastic, but for both very different reasons. One has taken the conventions of what a modern open world game is and refined it to such a point that it is literally the pinnacle of, I would say, modern open world games. And then you have what Nintendo's done and what they've put out, which is a reimagining of what it can be. And it's that Nintendo magic that really makes all the difference.
That's right. And I just bought this game today, and I can't wait to play. Like on my own, you know, sitting back and just relaxing. Like now that you have it on the go to work, tell a coworker, hey.
Oh, there's nothing better.
Game at lunchtime or some shit like that.
There's nothing better, in my opinion. I mean, the best way that I could sort of describe it is literally that water cooler moment on the go, where we can go out for a coffee and play this game. We could go out for a coffee and compare the Zelda saves. We could go out for a coffee and play Shovel Knight on the go. I could show you Wonder Boy at any point in time, because it's literally in my back pocket. It's in my backpack. And that's what the Switch has done for, you know, gaming in general, is really bring out the home experience with the social element. Because I'm not really the type of person that's going to be playing a Switch on the go, on the bus, or on the metro. Like, I'm always sort of paranoid that, like, the minute I pull it out, someone's going to snatch it from my hands and run off the bus. You know what I mean? But when it comes to, like, hanging out with groups, it's something that can be whipped out at any point in time, and bringing the home console experience on the go, which is something the Vita tried to do, and something that the Game Boy has sort of tried to do, but obviously the Game Boy is a little different. It's not exactly the same level of hardware. Oops. Damn it, I missed that jump. How did I miss that jump? But, oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Oh, you son of a bitch. It's okay, I got this.
Oh, no.
Drift. I'm Vin Diesel. Didn't know? I live my life a quarter mile at a time. But yeah, I honestly regret. Oops, damn it. I think I honestly regret that the Wii U wasn't a more successful system, if only for the fact that games like this didn't really get their due. You know, you hear all the time, like, oh, they have great games, they have great first party, but that third party support was missing for so long that I think a lot of people sort of missed out, like I did, on what Nintendo's been doing the last couple years.
Well, the Wii U gave out too many expectations and they failed. Now it seems that Nintendo's trying to fix an error, a mistake with the Switch, but still, the Switch is a great system. I'm so focused into this game.
Oh, you prick. I couldn't pull out the second shell in time to protect myself. I think maybe we should, like, amp up the speed next time. Because it's just you and me in first and second. We need a little bit more of a challenge, I would think, in the 50cc Cup. But the 50cc Cup, like I said, we're talking right now. We're still familiarizing ourselves with the levels. So I'm willing to forgive it, but I'm not sure the viewers are. And it's over. No! No! Lost all my coins!
I was right behind you. I was catching up.
That's the only thing that always bugged me about Mario Kart.
The blue shell.
First place, you are getting it up the a-hole. Blue shells, red shells, there's something always coming behind you. But you know what? It makes the game fun. It makes it interesting. On higher levels, it just becomes annoying and anger-inducing. But when you're playing with friends, it's always that that X factor that makes the game that much more special.
The thing is, with this Mario Kart edition, you could get really fucked. Like five red shells in a row, a lightning bolt, and a freaking blue shell. Boom. There's combinations. You get screwed from left, right,
big
and center.
time.
Come on, Lemmy. You can do it.
You can't do it, Lemmy. Get out of here. No one likes you, Lemmy.
You bastard. What was it, the shirt? Bastard.
And now Drift King. Keep this horn in case there's a blue shell. I won't be killed. Da 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 da. Really simple, but I remember we were talking about it a bit earlier off mic, but we can't really remember when it was that we met in terms of game history. I'm trying to remember because we both had N64s. I remember that much. We were both playing Zelda, but I can't remember if we knew each other when we first bought them.
I think it was at the release of Star Fox.
Was it Star Fox?
Yeah.
Like, I can't remember where in the life cycle we were. That's the problem.
People from behind me are naming.
I definitely know we played Zelda together. I definitely know that we also had had different experiences. I just can't remember how early it was, because for some reason I have a distinct memory of us buying it and you buying Rogue Squadron.
Rogue Squadron was for GameCube. I thought.
Was it GameCube?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm confusing the two. Because we definitely bought our GameCubes together. That much I remember. Goddamn mini thing ruined my boost just as I was taking the shortcut.
Damn it. Damn it.
You need speed from a turn to be able to get past that one fast.
I got fucking...
Because otherwise the terrain just kills your speed. But since we're sort of on the subject, and I mean that very loosely, because obviously we're having a ton of fun with the Switch right now. But we're in that, for lack of better terms, honeymoon phase with the system.
Yeah.
So I'm really having fun with it, really enjoying it. What do you think out of the Nintendo systems that we've had so far have had not necessarily the best lineup, because that definitely it's going to end up like getting into some sort of like weird meta argument about Super NES, N64, you know. But from launch, during that honeymoon period, which system do you think had the best launch lineup or best honeymoon system? Let's give it like a range of like 3-4 months.
In my opinion, the SNES.
You had an SNES at launch?
At launch, yes.
I think I picked mine up about a year after the initial launch, because I remember I had a Sega for a long Sega Genesis for I think a couple years, and I think it was only around the time of late in the cycle, mind you, that I ended up picking up Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy 3, and those are the games that really made me like stand up and say Secret of Mana. Those were the games that made me go out and like seek out an SNES. For me, I think, damn it, I messed up the boost, but I think the N64 had a stellar honeymoon phase in terms of launch, if only because Mario 64 tided me over for so long. GameCube, I definitely didn't enjoy Luigi's Mansion as much as I probably should have for a release title. I felt it was very short and underwhelming compared to what's it called? Super Mario 64.
Oh, Super Mario 64 was amazing.
Ah, damn it, missed.
Great launch game.
But damn, flew right off. But in terms of launch lineups, I think the N64 held my attention the longest and really made me stand up and say, yeah, I enjoyed this system.
That was because it was a stand-up system.
Other than that, I'm trying to think.
The crowds.
Nothing against systems like GameCube, not GameCube, but the Xbox systems or the PS3, PS4, but I never felt compelled to buy those at launch in the same way that I felt compelled to buy a Nintendo system at launch. And that's not to say that I don't enjoy them. In fact, I'll be honest, I've gotten more enjoyment out of a Xbox 360, PS3, and PS4 and Xbox One than I have gotten in, let's say, the GameCube or the Nintendo Wii. But it was definitely something that I ended up picking up at a later time, if only because they cost so damn much at the time. Like, I still remember picking up my Xbox a couple months after release, getting the Red Ring of Death.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
You know, so there's definitely a period of time during those systems' life cycles that I said to myself, no, I think I'll hold off.
Same thing here. Like right now, I feel that way. Like I don't want to buy another system, like Microsoft with their Project Scorpio. I'm not interested in that.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, you could tell me it's the strongest hardware in the world. Like, hooray for you, but it doesn't mean as much to me as the games themselves. Like, look at what they've done with Breath of the Wild. You know? It's got that Nintendo magic. And we need more. We need more games that are magical. Not just polished, magical.
Seriously.
But I really enjoy simple mechanics. And I think that's what Nintendo has managed to do for so many years. And what's kept them alive, really, through the Wii U era. Because let's be honest, the Wii U was a disaster. Disaster for them, right? It's not exactly the thing that Nintendo wants to be known for.
That's right.
To me, I consider it similar to, let's say, Game Boy Color.
Yeah.
In terms of success. It was there, but not many people necessarily needed the Game Boy Color.
That's it. I got the Game Boy Pocket.
It wasn't necessarily as bad as the Virtual Boy, that's for sure.
Yeah, that was horrible.
It wasn't Virtual Boy level failure.
My cousin bought that thing. I remember looking into it, playing Mario Tennis, Virtual Tennis. And I got fucking, like, my eyes were hurting me. Just the pain. Like,
The only place that I saw Virtual Boy in person was La Ronde. When they had the Nintendo
Six
Dome at La
Flags.
Ronde.
Yeah.
That is it. Every other time, I never saw it anywhere. Like, let's be honest, the thing was huge. It was massive. There's no way that I was going to buy it. A Game Boy that I strapped to my face. But that's our first circuit in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I think we're going to have to crank up the speed on the next round. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, hopefully you guys tune in next time. See you then.